What's good?
What up?
Welcome to an episode of our Hip Hop Review. This is your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
What up?
And this is a review that I've been pushing back for years. Finally talking about it. It is Q-Tip with his solo debut album, Amplified. This was released in 1999 on Arista, excuse me. 1 year after the infamous Love Movement album.
Yep.
This is produced by J.D. I want to say, was this his last album he used a J.D. moniker?
That's a good question. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't.
because
I want
interesting.
to say he used it for the album with Madlib with the champion with the champion sound.
Oh, I thought he went J Dilla with that. Oh wow.
Did he use Dilla with that? I thought it
Yeah,
was still JD with that one.
because I know that joint was dropped in 2003 though. But yeah,
Get that? Yeah.
I mean you could be right though. You could be right. But yeah, it has JD, Q-Tip, and DJ Scratch. And I want to say the only guest appearance. There's actually a couple. Meta Leacock, Jessica Rivera, Busta Rhymes, and Corn. Interesting. Okay. All right. So pretty much after the release of Love Movement, Tribe Called Quest pretty much disbanded and whatnot. It was a huge blow to a lot of people, hip hop heads and whatnot. And we all kind of saw, if you were a Tribe, we kind of saw the writing on the wall when Fife and Tip weren't really seeing eye to eye, and then people like Consequence and JD came in the picture and whatnot too. And Q-Tip at that time too was still recovering from the fire and stuff like that. Because in case you guys don't know, like early '98, he
Right.
had a fire in like his home recording studio and like destroyed like a lot of his records, like nearly like 20,000 vinyl records and shit, and a computer with many unreleased songs. And Q-Tip went through like a little depression, and it was a story I read about how KRS One was talking to Q-Tip, and Q-Tip was just like, "Why does this have to happen? What did I do to deserve this?" And pretty much KRS One said, "Things happen for a reason. You use this as a way to like move forward and shit like that." So this is what Q-Tip did. This is what Q-Tip did in order to rebuild himself. He pretty much started working with Raphael Sadiq
Yeah.
and released the song "Hit Get Involved." And also, that year too, he signed to Arista Records. Clive Davis is getting like a lot of mention lately in these episodes. Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
I mean, it depends how you see it, really. It really depends how you see it. Cause I know at some point, either next week or the week after, I'm gonna have to talk about Princess Arista Records album. So yeah. And Clive Davis, he has a way to bring the best out of an artist, and he has a way to bring the worst out of an artist.
Yep.
And with this album, it's kind of in between. Let's just say that. And so with Amplify, with Clive Davis, he always wants to bring the pop out of the people. And Q-Tip at that time too was experimenting with more R&B and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He really wanted he pretty much wanted to do something different from the Tribe album.
Right.
He wanted like to have like more of like a commercial appeal and whatnot too. And usually I really don't have a problem with that, but as long as it's done right, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And oh Lord, oh God. Just look at the album cover. Let's look at this album cover for a quick second. Like, is he trying to be Cisco or something? Like, because when I first saw this cover, I'm looking at myself like, oh wow, he's solo. He's actually showing his chest. Oh wow, okay,
Right. It's just and he had like different variations of himself. Like
right. Like,
um, I don't understand.
That's
I don't
what
understand what's going
when
on.
we talk about the 20YO album, when Ash showed all the fucking pictures. I hate when artists sometimes do that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But yeah, that's a very weird album cover. But and then you know the fucking Q. I like the fucking Q like on the fucking top and shit like that. Like yeah, I'm going by one letter now, Q and shit. Like this boy was really trying it. He was really trying to have like that sex appeal kind of ordeal and shit like that.
Right.
Oh
He
boy.
was feeling himself.
Oh yeah.
He was feeling himself.
And mind you, Fife's album was no better either. I'm gonna be real. I love Fife. Love Fife Dog, he's a legend, but that album was no better. I'm gonna be real. But we're gonna talk about that one day. I just felt like they both needed each other at that time, but yeah, that's another story for a different day.
Right.
Alright, and it was crazy though. It's like with this whole fucking album and shit like that, he really wanted to appease his old fans and then his new fans, which kind of like brought like a lot of weird results. So Let's Ride was a single, right?
Yes.
Okay, that song, Breathe and Stop and Vibrant Thing, those were the singles off his album. Has 12 tracks and one bonus track. All right, track number 1, Wait Up. God knows I'm not waiting for this review. So, uh, yeah. So, this was an okay song. It used the sample of a Stevie Wonder song, which it's been used quite a bit times. You know what I'm saying? You know, it definitely had a little like party like vibe. Like it had a nice vibe to it. But I wouldn't have not picked the song to start off the album. Matter of fact, this might be the only album where I don't even know what song could have started off this album with, and that's saying something. So yeah,
I thought it was dope. I think the beat was dope, the bass line, the horn sample. It sounds like a tribe type of beat. Yeah, I think there's a lot of songs on here that sounds like a tribe type of beat. You know,
yeah,
I think it was dope. What else? You got Tip saying, I got a whole new approach for the rhyming. You chubby cats wide, I'm holding out for the hymen. You want to shoot dice or want to shoot rounds, want to sell rhymes or want to sell pounds. I thought it was dope. I think it was like a dope joint to start the album with.
respect. Track number 2, Higher. Um, yeah, I didn't care for this joint right here. I'm gonna be keeping a buck with you. Yeah, a lot of this has to do with the beat and a little disclaimer: if you're a J.Dilla fan, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to be real. I was not a fan of his production on this album. Yeah, unsubscribe me. You watch, and
I don't think it get that serious.
you're talking to a guy that listened to J Dilla from as far back as the far side of Bank, California. De La Soul Stakes is high. So on and so on. And even though I love the JD era of J Dilla, this was like a transitional time. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was a bit too experimental. And I feel like some of the song, the beat kind of threw me off too. And this was no exception too. So yeah,
High, I thought it was dope. I like the beat. It has a quirky melody. The hi hats. I thought it was like a more of like a motivational type of track. Where he's like uplifting in his lyrics, and he's saying like we see the horror through the shades of it might not come. Get it, got to get it all now because it might not come. And that's like typical Tip. I think that's we come to know Tip for that in the past, and I thought it was a dope song.
respect too. Oh God, breathe and stop. Oh Jesus Christ. Yeah. Also, another disclaimer: I never liked any of the singles off this album. Oh boy, Jesus. I don't know if it was just me. I feel like it was a vibrant thing. It was a cousin of vibrant thing in a weird way. Like, some of the lyrics too, he was saying, like, oh my God, Tip, what are you abstract? You know my stickity in here. What the fuck is a stickity? Niggas get on and swear it's their fucking year, but yo, your girl just moved to the joint in the club. In the
Hmm.
car, if it grew, broad look, the moon is on. Um, your Prada dress or your Gucci bag. When the hell did Tip start talking about Gucci? God, I don't know. With polo jeans over doobie bag. You hold the door tight. We coming through tribe beef. Hold it down for the. I don't know. It was just. I don't know, man. I was never a big fan of Breathe and Stop. Never a big fan.
Definitely. Well, this came after Violent Things. I think, that blew up so much that he went ahead and said, "Okay, I did it once. Let me try to do it again with Beat and Stop." And I mean, they played it a lot. You know what I'm saying? It was considered a big hit off of this album. It's okay. Like it's more commercial tip, like more tip. Trying to do commercial, trying to get into, trying to get club play. So he tried it. I thought it was okay. It's not what I want to hear from Q-Tip, but he was doing that. He was trying to become a big solo star at the time and getting more radio play. And he had two bangs at the same time. They were playing Violent Thing and this at the same time. So I
Right.
guess he accomplished what he wanted to do with that.
A lot of artists can't even have two successful singles and shit, especially for one making comebacks and shit. So, but yeah, I see what you're saying on this one. Um, Now we're gonna get into "Moving with You." This is a song again with it's another weird song.
Right.
For one, it's censored even on the explicit version. It's censored all the way through. And again, I did not like that beat. I really did not like that beat, to be real with you. You can tell he really wanted to go for a single with this one. Didn't really care.
Yeah, I didn't like this one. This I didn't like the beat. I didn't like the song. No,
Right.
it was no for me.
Exactly. Oh my god, Let's Ride. Okay. Another song I really I'm gonna be real. I actually like the beat on this one. I'm gonna be real. I like the beat on this one. I know it's pretty much Tip paying homage to his ride. Again, if I was to pick one single I like from this album, it might be this one, but at the same time, it's not one of those Q-Tip songs I'm in a rush to listen to if I'm feeling like listening to some Tip. So yeah.
Yeah, it was like I love it. I think this is like again another tribe sounding type of beat. I could definitely hear Fife over this as well. Rest in peace to him. I love this joint. The bass line, the drums, the hi hats, the guitar loop. It's like a feel good weekend type of track. Like Friday night
Right.
before leaving your work and hitting the town type of track. And Tip saying, "Kick off your shoes, show off your pedicure, shake off the blues. We all forgetting more." I love it, man. I love the video too with him in the ride, and he's like picking up, or well, not picking up passengers. He's like, you see, like while he's riding, different people coming to play. You got Busta Rhymes in the car in the jeep with him, and he leaves, and Tip picks up a chick, and he's getting it on with her in the ride, and I thought it was dope.
Hmm. Yeah, the video definitely had that like summertime feel to it and shit
Yeah.
too. So
Hmm.
yeah, man. Next track we got is "Things You Do." Um, this song right here, it's pretty straight song. Um, Again, not really one of my favorites, but it's better than most on this track.
I think it was dope. I like the beat and the hi hats, the bass line. Um, you got Tip saying, "Look around you, tell me who else is shining, girl. Fat rapper cats on my dick, they just whining, girl." And I thought it was dope. You got the chorus. Let's talk about these rules we break and the things we take and the jobs we hold and the land we sold. And it continues. I thought it was a dope track. Again, like you have that abstract type of commercial going on with this, even with this song. Like him talking about like the fat rapper cats on his dick and all that. And he don't talk like that. So it's like I'm like, yeah, he was going for the mainstream on this album. So
Yeah. Hmm. All right. After that, we're gonna get into All In. This features Meta Leacock. What did I say about this track? This track right here. Again, this wasn't another song I actually really liked and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It definitely had that vintage Q-tip style to it. You know.
right.
Um, yeah, I definitely fuck with this one.
Definitely. It was. I liked the beat. It had like that quirky melody and the bass line. I thought the chorus was whack. I didn't like the chorus. But him saying, taking rhymes to another zone is your mother home. Can we, cause we can dead the moan and stay strictly on the rhythmic motion and keep the joint close for commotion. So I thought it was, like those bars I like, but I didn't care for the chorus.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about that and shit. So next we're gonna get into Go Hard. Again, I really did not care for this track.
This joint, I liked it, but again, I didn't like the chorus. I thought the chorus was whack. It's another club joint, another attempt at radio play. But I liked like the beat to me fit more Slum Village and J Dilla.
Yeah,
I think it was a joint for I could definitely hear J Dilla and Frank and Dank over this beat than Q Tip. You know what I'm saying? Q Tip tried to make it like a radio friendly banger for him, and I don't think it was for Tip.
yeah, I definitely feel like it had more of like a Slum Village feel to it too.
Yeah,
And now that you mentioned it, I can definitely see that maybe on the Volume 2 album.
yeah.
Believe it or not, an album I kind of feel like is a bit overrated.
That I think it is too.
Thank
I'm
you.
like
Okay.
yeah, and I've heard that. I've heard the album more than once. Like when it dropped in the 2000s, I'm like, this album is overrated.
Volume 1 is way better.
You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
like, they would put that. I've seen posts where people put that in the same room as Minstrel Show. I'm like, Minstrel Show is a better album to me than
Thank
some of
you.
the album. You know what
Thank
I'm saying? I love Slum Village, but I don't think they made like great albums. Like I had the Trinity the Trinity album with Tainted. And Dilla only did like 3 songs on it. Like that was when he didn't even want shit to do with the group no more. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And that's when they had Elzai. Elzai was on that album, and Elzai couldn't even save that album.
This I might be dropping a lot of shit, but I feel like Elzai is kind of overrated too. People
He's
say he like
dope, but
people
he's
say
not
he
the
like the
next
summer
Eminem
version
now.
of Nas. I'm like, nah,
No,
no.
he's not the next. I remember when that Elmatic mixtape dropped. I heard it. I'm like, it's cool, to pay homage to Nas, but you're not Nas. He's not on Nas level to me.
I hate tribute albums like that. I really, and especially with, and I feel like the whole Slum Village Over Love came after J Dilla died. I'm being
Right.
perfectly honest.
Hmm.
Yeah, they have dope. So I love Selfish,
Right.
whatnot, but
That's
still,
dope.
it's not one of my groups I would definitely listen to.
Hmm.
And because
They,
people are saying like that album was like one of the greatest in the South
they
history.
don't. And I say this. I put them in the same conversation with the Outlaws. They haven't made great music since their leader died.
I
Same
agree.
thing with the Outlaws. Slum Village. I've heard those albums after Dilla died is not the same.
It's
It
not.
was it was bad. And then Illa J, I know he came into the group. Dilla's younger brother. He couldn't even save those albums with them. You know what I'm saying? I think they just huh?
They're trying to go for that commercial shit.
Yes, and I think they only carried on the group because Jay Dilla made the group and they put Illa J in the group, but he couldn't even. It wasn't the same when Dilla passed away. I'm like, nah. They have like one good album really. When you look at Fantastic Voyage, after that, it's like people were hyping them up because I'm like, yo, y'all wasn't doing this shit when Dilla was alive. After he's dead, it's like, oh, this album is so classic. I'm like, no, it's not.
Exactly.
Like, let's call a spade, man. They start saying that this shit was so great because nobody was saying that back in 2001,
They
2002.
weren't.
You know,
They weren't like, and it's like I feel like since the 20 teens, like the early 20 teens, I feel like that's when
right,
hype of that. It's the same
right,
reason why I think of Blue and Exiles Below the Heavens and shit. That's the
right,
same.
right. It's a dope album. I don't know if I'm gonna call Blue and Exile album a classic though.
It's
It's
boring.
dope. It's a boom bap album, but I'm not putting it on that level with Illmatic and shit. you know. And I don't know, if I think it's a mix of Dilla passion, and also because when you look back 10 years later, you appreciate that album from the early 2000s when they wasn't doing that in the early 2000s, because the South had already blown up. It was it was more about Nelly than Slum Village back then. I didn't hear nobody praise the Slum Village album back then. Now 10 years later, people say, "Oh, it's a classic album," and Dilla's dead, so let's praise it even more. You know what I mean?
I'd rather listen to Country Grammar than Slim Village. Yeah, yeah, I said it. Yeah.
I'm just like, nah, man. It's not on that level. You
Hmm.
know?
But yeah, man, it's like, and I love J Dilla, man. I respect his work and stuff like that. He made some of the best beats in hip hop. But there's like certain times when producers make it out seem like he invented sampling soul music for hip hop. I'm just like,
Right.
really? Have you guys not heard of Diamond D? Have you guys not heard of Pete Rock?
Yeah.
Like, hell, RZA. As much shit as I give RZA.
Right. Definitely.
But yeah, let's get back to it because you know how StreamYard be and shit like that, you know. But yeah, we are at Do It, right? Yeah, we gotta do it.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking God. This is when they're using these Latin sounds in hip hop and R&B, like with Ja Rule and J Lo started doing that stupid shit. Everyone's, I'm being serious. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of like the early '90s, no, not early '90s, late '90s, early 2000s.
Right.
They had to have that Spanish guitar. Only time it worked was when Tony Braxton did it for Spanish guitar on the Heat album. Only time
Exactly.
that fucking worked.
Exactly.
Ever since, like for the like next 3 or 4 years, niggas try to do that shit, and this was no exception. And this was like really one of the first songs to really overuse that stupid ass trend. Oh my fucking tip, tip. No. See, I was so close to calling this a trash review. I was really close to calling this a trash review. I'm like, this is Q-Tip we're talking about.
Right.
Shit. Ding, 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 ding.
Nah, I didn't like the song. It's one of the like nah. I didn't like the beat. I didn't like nothing about it. That could have been left off of the album.
I agree. If this was like a soundtrack song, I would have accepted it. I
Nah.
would be like,
He came. He could. I think they would have rejected this if this was on a soundtrack. Because he like when they've been on soundtracks, when Tribe has been on soundtracks, they deliver. Men in Black soundtrack, the Soul
no,
soundtrack, the
Boomerang.
joint he did with Raphael Sadiq for higher learning, like they deliver. But they wouldn't have accepted that song for a soundtrack.
Right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna use the bathroom
Yeah.
right quick. Dump
Okay.
this. Very close calling it a trash review. Very close. All right, I'm back. Okay, now we are at Vibrant Thing. My all-time favorite song off this album.
Oh boy. Here we go.
I remember when I first heard this song. Oh my Jesus Christ! I was getting into hip hop.
Mm,
You know, I was really loving Tribe Called Quest.
right.
Then I was scrolling on YouTube. No, no, not YouTube. Fuck that. I was on BT, and these bump, 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 bump. I was like, what the fuck? And I looked around. It was just like cute. Always on YouTube. Such a vibrant thing, like that. And it's just looking at myself like, wow. 'Cause at that time, I did not know what to think of it. At that time, But then over the years, with me being a being so used to the Tribe and Dilla, I just never liked this song.
Right.
I really just never liked this song, really. And I know it's like a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a nice banger." If it comes on a party, I don't even dance to it. I really don't even dance to it. I don't even bob my head to it. I'm just like, okay, wow. I don't even play Tribe. They don't even play Tribe song. They just play this song and shit. But yeah, I never really liked this song. I felt like it was a weird song for Q-Tip, even to this day. Sweeter than Ben and Jerry. Can I rhyme? Well, I gets mine. Like, I mean, it's not as LL Cool J bad. It's not phenomenon bad, but yeah, this is a no for me.
I love this song. I remember hearing it. It was way back on, like, I'm dating myself, on the um AOL media player back in '99.
Oh wow, I feel old.
And I said I'm dating myself. Yes, back when AOL had the media plays, the shit that used to buff. Um, Before Napster, 'cause I didn't download Napster until like 2000, 2001. But yeah, I was online, and I had saw I had AOL back then. I saw like it had to been like maybe June or July, 'cause that came out in the summertime. The song, and I remember hearing the song because it was like a new release. I want to say it was like maybe like on the weekend or something that dropped, and I heard it and I was like, it's different,
Yeah,
but it didn't blow up yet. It wasn't a hit yet, and I think I heard it and I was like, okay. Then I saw the video that hyped it, and that's when it blew up. When the video came out, that's when it blew up. And that same summer, I had bought the Violator album, the first one, and yeah, by the time the Violator album came out, it was already a big hit all over radio. Everybody knew the song. My mother loved the song, and that's still like her favorite song with Q-Tip. And um, I think, yeah, once the video came out, it became a hit. But like in the beginning, when I first heard it, I was like, I didn't know what to make of it. I'm like, this is different for Q-Tip. Like the beat sounds different. It's real. It has like a '70s vibe, but it's still like something you could bang in the club, even
Mhm.
for that time in the end of the '90s, and it was just different. It was a different type of tip, and but I think I was surprised more that the radio embraced it,
Yeah,
because like I didn't think it was gonna blow up the way that it did, and I think, again, I think because the Hype Williams was very big as a director at that point. Belly had came out, and all the videos he done for Busta and Puffy and all, and everybody, Missy and them. So I think the Hype Williams video helped the song a lot, and to the point where MTV was playing it every hour on the hour. Believe he got a VMA for the album for the.
oh wow.
I know he was nominated. I'm trying to. I don't remember if he won that year. I know he was nominated at the VMAs that year. I mean, cause that was like the best. That was like the number one video they were playing. That wasn't like Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera. Like they were playing Q-Tip all the time on there. And yeah, like when the video dropped, that's when it became a hit. And I think it was a great first single for him as a solo artist. Like to step out of Tribe and what we've accustomed to hearing from him, like Check the Rhyme and phony rappers and you know, we got the Jazz, Benito Applebaum, and for him to come into his own as a solo artist and drop a crazy joint for his first single off his first album, his first solo album. I think it was great. If anybody else did it, I don't know if it would have been a hit. But I think for him, because it's Q-Tip and we know who he is, he's a familiar face. It worked for him, and it was something that people didn't expect. Cause I didn't even expect it to blow up like that. So I think it was. I don't get tired of hearing this song. Like even though there's a lot of songs that I get tired of that they've played on the radio forever, or MTV played it nonstop and they video rotation. But this is a song that I never, for whatever reason, I never gotten tired of. Maybe it's because of Q-Tip, because I love Tribe so much and grew up on the native tongue stuff. So, but for I can play this album, and if I played just like one song on this album, it would be this song. I don't get tired of it, and I just thought it was a great track, and I love the beat. Like it is a club banger, and sitting back and with his mic in my hand, spitting hot shit, trying to see grand. I love that. I love the chorus a vibrant thing. It's such a vibrant thing. I love that, man. I don't know. It's just one of those songs that I don't get tired of hearing. So I mean, if it was you know Nelly Dilemma, I would get, I got tired of hearing that. You know what I'm saying? If it was Benjamin's, I even got tired of hearing that all the
Oh
time.
wow.
But Vibrant thing, I never got tired of hearing. So,
Mm. Okay, respect, respect. Now we're gonna go into NT featuring Busta Rhymes. This is probably my favorite song off this album. You know, Q-Tip, Busta, DJ Scratch, you really can't go wrong with that trio. Just them, just spitting some real shit. Just them, on some Q-Tip really on some braggadocious shit, I should say. Busta is really just doing the chorus and shit too. So just like it's like a vintage Q-Tip Busta Rhymes collaboration. So I fuck with this joint.
yeah, this was dope. I would have loved for Busta to have a verse on here.
Another
Besides, huh?
another beat what Busta could have killed, but
Right. Yeah, and maybe that was done by design. Maybe Tip didn't want to get overshadowed by Busta. You know what I'm saying? Because Busta would have destroyed this song. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool to have him in the chorus, but I'm like, we could have had a verse or two from Busta on here. He was still in his prime. I don't even think it. I hate even using that word prime guy. I don't feel like Busta ever lost it. He just hasn't come out in a long time, which until last year. But um, I thought it was a dope joint. I like the beat and the hi hats on it, the little piano loop, the bass line, and Tip saying, spitting sharp blades laced with bleach. You want to play around, kid? I'm not a walk at the beach, a stroll in the park. Put your headphones on. Tell me how a grenade sound. I thought it was dope. Anything that they've done together has been classic. Scenario, classic. Ill Vibe, off of Busta's first album, classic. So they never disappoint because like when you work with Busta Rhymes, you got to bring your A game, no
I,
matter what artist it is, whether he working with Tip or he working with Wheezy or Chris Brown or whoever, you got to bring your A game to Busta. So
I
I thought it was a great track, and I didn't hear them the radios playing this track a lot. Like they played all the radio singles, they didn't play this track at all. So
interesting. All right. Next track, End of Time featuring Corn. I never really cared for this track either.
mm,
I like Corn, specifically like their first two albums, but this was like a weird I feel like they were trying to do what Puffy and Jimmy Page did with the Cashmere track.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like Corn is like an acquired taste for a lot of people.
I never liked them, and the thing is, people have told me in the past, like, oh, you love Linkin Park, then you love Korn. But I've listened to the Issues album and Follow the Lead. I didn't care for it. I don't see the similarities with Linkin Park and
Because
Korn.
there's none.
I'm Linkin Park. Chester Bennington sings different from Jonathan. You know what I'm saying? And Linkin Park have more lighthearted melodies than Korn is more darker with their
Yeah.
music. So I'm like, I don't see the similarities when people say Korn and Linkin Park.
I, Now, if you say Blink 182 on Linkin Park, then
Right, right. But even with them, I don't care for their music. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this song, like I like, I mean, if I had to compare Linkin Park to somebody, it would be like Fall Out Boy. I think Fall Out Boy makes a lot of songs like them too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see the comparison. Like Korn, they're legends. I remember watching their videos a lot on MTV back then, and I think they did a diary, and I watched that one, and you know what I'm saying? But I don't see the similarities. They're in the same, genre, alternative rock, but I don't see the similarities with their music though.
exactly.
You know what I mean? But and I don't feel like Jonathan was needed on this song.
He
Like
wasn't.
I don't know how the I never found out the how did Tip and Jonathan start working for this on this. song together, but I don't think he was needed. It still would have been to me. Is I like the beat. I think the beat was in it, and it was dark, and you had the guitars, and he could have gotten a guitarist from anywhere. He could have gotten Navarro. He could have gotten Lenny Kravitz. He could have gotten any guitarist from one of those bands. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
um, I don't think it was needed. I think it still would have been a dope song without him. You know, you got Tip saying people in my hood think um if I'm looking raggedy, then the cat is just a weak link in a very fake chain of oppression that the television taught me any lesson. Image is nothing but y'all got a thirst. What's worse, your rings or your purse? I like those bars that he was saying on the song, but I don't think Jonathan was needed for the song.
I agree.
It just came out of left field. Like even remember Jonathan was on wasn't Corn on the Ice Cube album the
Yeah.
Northeast? I
Yep.
don't feel like they were needed for that album either.
Oh, that album is a different story. Too.
You
A
know,
lot of guest artists was not needed on that album.
yeah, I think they were forcing it. They were forcing the rap rock collab, but that wasn't needed.
Yeah, because new metal was popular, and then
Right.
Rage Against the Machine was
Yeah,
blowing.
Limp Bizkit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. And but Limp, their collabs were dope, but they didn't try to force the issue. They were just themselves, and if they worked with Exhibit or Primo, they let them be them.
right.
You know.
Shit. No, of course. Oh yeah, you just said Limp Bizkit. Yeah. And the thing with Limp Bizkit too is like, even though I'm not really a big fan,
Mm.
it's like they were very MTV popular.
Yes, they was.
Very.
I didn't really. You know what's crazy? Like I remember, I think the first time I saw them was the $3 bill when $3 bill came out, and seeing the Faith video, and I thought they were corny. And then when Nookie came out, I thought that was corny. But I I want to say like probably when In Together Now came out with Method Man, and then when they came out with I forgot the other song. It might have been Rolling. That's when I started to check out their stuff. But I thought Nookie was corny when it came out. I used to see that all the time on the TRL countdown. I'm like, yo, this song is whack. I don't like it. But they grew on me. They grew on me. They definitely I definitely wasn't a fan of them from the beginning, but they grew on me, after a while. But they every collaboration they did, they let the artists do their own thing. They didn't try to force the issue on, oh well, you gotta if we get Q-Tip, we gotta sound like this on this song, and they just let the artists do whatever. That's how the Beastie Boys did with whenever they collaborated with somebody. Let the artists be their artists.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. Shit. Then there's a hidden track off this album.
Yeah.
Do It, See It, Be It.
Yeah.
Which I really did not care for this either. Yeah.
I like this. I think the song was dope because this should have been a part of the track listing instead of a hidden track. Cause I mean, he mentioned like how he got started in hip hop and mentioning how Tribe got started, and he talked about going through the issues with Fife and Fife moving to Atlanta, and Tip going solo. He talked about the fire. He also mentioned um when he had the fire that Angie was there, and I'm talking about Angie Martinez because there was rumors back then that him and Angie Martinez was dating, but
Yeah.
I've never seen no interview or anything confirming that. So I'm guessing when he said Angie, he's talking about Angie Martinez, you know. And
Mm.
people have said that, oh well, that's not true. She had a baby with Nokio from Drew Hill. I've heard. I remember. I think I don't. I don't want to say Wendy said it, but I remember hearing rumors that he used to date. He was dating Angie, and that led to Wendy. That led to the fight with Angie and Wendy, and that's when Wendy left Hot 97, and she went
I
to
heard, I heard about that.
yeah. Supposedly that's what led to Wendy and Angie having beef because Wendy got on the air and said and put their relationship on blast that she was dating Angie was dating Q-Tip or whatever, and she didn't want that to come out. And I thought this song should have been part of the track listing. Why was it a hidden track? You know what I mean? I mean, he could have started this song off for the album. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, like you could have started this song off as to start the album off. 'Cause this is your first solo album coming from a legendary rap group like Tribe. Why not start the album off telling people how you started in hip hop and how Tribe started, and you know what I'm saying, the ups and downs of the industry. That could have been the opening track for the album instead of I don't know, understand why it was a bonus track, and it's not even listed on here. So like, if you ever get the album, for anybody that don't have the album and never get it, you gotta wait till end the time is over, and then like it plays the hidden track, because the hidden track is not listed on here.
Right. It's crazy.
You know,
Overall, not a fan of this album. I feel like it's like an acquired taste,
yeah,
but I've tasted it, and yeah, it's.
just say I've tasted it.
And I love Q. I love Q2. I feel like this is just a bit too experimental for my taste. I mean, I liked NT, and I mean, Let's Ride was okay, but I just felt like everything else was just all over the place. The production, in my opinion, was not really that good. Um, yeah, man, I'm not really fucking with this album. I'm probably gonna give it like maybe like a 2 out of 5.
I like it. I still prefer Renaissance. I think Renaissance is his true album to how we know him. This was definitely a more commercial, radio friendly album at times. You know, when you have his biggest hit ever with a rhyming thing and Breathe and Stop and Let's Ride. You know, I love the production from Dilla. There's maybe like two or three songs that could have been left off the album. I didn't. The Corn's feature, I didn't think they needed Corn on that. He could have still had that song on there, but I don't think Corn was needed on that. I don't understand how that collab even came about. Um, it's commercial, but there's still some sprinkles of abstract that we know and love on the album. I like it. I think it's though. I would give it a 4, but it's not my go-to tips album. It's still Renaissance for me, and then Kamala Abstract, and then it will be this. But it is some bangers on it. I definitely, the NT song with Busta. That's a dope. He could have released that as a single. That was a dope joint. You know, what's the other joint I like? Higher. That joint. Wait up, higher. Those are like some of my favorites on here. Without counting like the singles, things we do. I thought that was dope. You know, all of what all the joint all in was dope. I just didn't like the chorus for that. You know what I'm saying? He had some bangers, just that they just marketed it like a commercial mainstream album, and coming from the group that he came from, Tribe was totally against mainstream. They even said it in Check the Rhyme, rap is not pop. If you call it that, then stop. Like that's what Hammer was doing, and y'all were totally against that. And coming from that group, and then you're doing this, so I think it was a juxtapose that to many fans, and they didn't understand it at the time. And and even now, like, he hasn't done nothing commercial since this album, really. Because Renaissance, he got a Grammy nomination for Renaissance, but that wasn't a commercial album to me. And neither was Kamal. They showed Kamal, so he hasn't. I think he learned his lesson from this album. Like, oh, I can't do this because people know me as the abstract. I got to be the abstract. I can't do another viral thing. But yeah, I think there's some bangs on it. It's not a classic, but it's still some joints I would definitely bump off here.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. Shit. I want to say this album's out of print too.
Oh, is it?
I want to say I don't think it's been remastered or re-released
It might
according
be.
to Scogs.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. Appreciate this, bro.
yeah.
Definitely gonna do some listen to some music tonight, and I'm gonna let you know what happens. I will talk to you later.
All right, cool.
And thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna drop this sometime this weekend.
So,
Peace.
peace.